भीगे तो खिल आए, घन घन बरसे तो बरसाए, धरती भीगे तो खिल आए, पौधे उभरे तो लहराए, जीवन सारा झूमे गाए, पौधे उभरे तो लहराए, जीवन सारा झूमे गाए, हरी भरी खेतों में पंछी जो इतराए, रंगीन बगियों में पुरवैया लहराए, आओ मिले काम करें एक हो निर्धार करे, दुनिया हरी बने नदियां मुस्काए, आओ मिले काम करें एक हो निर्धार करे, दुनिया हरी बने नदियां मुस्काए, बैठ चली सनन सनन, बैठ चली मस्त मगन, बैठ चली सनन सनन नदियां दो सारी, बैठ चली मस्त मगन नदियां प्यारी, बैठ चली सनन सनन नदियां दो सारी, बैठ चली मस्त मगन नदियां प्यारी, गुनगुनाती खिलखिलाती नदियां दो सारी, झूम रही इधर उधर नदियां प्यारी, गुनगुनाती खिलखिलाती नदियां दो सारी, झूम रही इधर उधर नदियां प्यारी, मैं की धरती ये बहता जो पानी, मैं की धरती ये बहता जो पानी, सनन 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 सनन।
संजीवनी पूछ रहे हो ना सुकू कॉफी पूछ रहे हो, एक लाइम वाटर ही पिला दो। प्रैक्टिस करनी है भैया, प्रैक्टिस करनी है, खाली पेट रखना है, प्रैक्टिस करनी है। अरे कोई पिला दो मैडम। अरे मैडम आपके पास पानी है क्या? किसी के पास है भाई? अरे कोई पानी तो पिला दे यार, सुबह सुबह
बहुत प्यास लग रही है यार, पानी दे दो।
भाई क्या पानी पानी लगा रखा है यार, मैं 3 दिन से नहा कर नहीं आया। मम्मी को बोला था, मम्मी मोटर चालू कर दो।
हाँ फिर?
मम्मी ने मोटर चालू किया, इतना पानी आया कि मुंह धो सकूं। मैं पिछले 3 दिन से मुंह धोकर आ रहा हूँ।
पानी चिपड़ कर आ रहे भैया तुम। अरे एक बोतल पानी में नहा के आ रहा है, ड्राई क्लीन भैया, ड्राई क्लीन।
अरे अरे यार, पानी वानी छोड़ो। तुमको पता है आजकल डीओ की बिक्री इतनी क्यों बढ़ गई है? क्यों? अरे पानी है नहीं नहाने के लिए, तो डीओ मारा हो गया फ्रेश।
अरे डीओ की बात छोड़ यार, कोई पानी देगा?
अरे पानी दे दो, पानी दे दो। पानी नहीं है भाई,
नहीं है पानी।
पानी 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 और जिंदगी सानी 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 आ जाओ on the street यार, पानी दे दो प्लीज।
अरे ठंडे
ठंडे पानी से नहाना चाहिए, गाना आए या ना आए, गाना चाहिए। अरे मम्मी, पानी क्यों बंद हो गया? मम्मी,
क्या है? क्यों चिल्ला रहा है?
अरे मम्मी मेरी आंखें जल रही है, पानी नहीं आ रहा।
कहाँ से लाऊं तेरे लिए इतना पानी? तेरे बाप को बोलते बोलते थक गई हूँ। शेव करेगा तो नल का खुला, ब्रश करेगा तो नल का खुला। कहाँ से लाऊं तेरे लिए इतना पानी?
अरे जमीन से लाओ, आसमान से लाओ, पानी ला दो, मेरी आंखें जल रही हैं।
तौलिए से मुंह पोंछ बाहर निकल।
अरे फ्रिज में एक बोतल पानी ही पड़ा होगा, कम से कम वही ला दो, आंखें तो धो लूं मैं। नहा रहा था, वो तो साबुन लगा रहा था, वो तो छप छप नहा रहा था, साबुन लगा रहा था, पानी बहा रहा था। उसकी आंखें जली तो हम क्या करें, उसका पानी खत्म तो हम क्या करें।
रामो,
जी साहब।
चल गाड़ी धो।
जी साहब, धो रहा हूँ।
ए रामो चल गाड़ी दो, ए रामो चल गाड़ी दो, थोड़ा साबुन थोड़ा सर्फ थोड़ा सादा लगा, थोड़ा साबुन थोड़ा सर्फ थोड़ा सादा लगा, थोड़ा टायर वायर साफ कर दे नया, थोड़ा टायर वायर साफ कर दे नया। ए रामो चल गाड़ी दो, ए रामो चल गाड़ी दो।
अंकल ये आप क्या कर रहे हो?
दिखाई नहीं दे रहा तुम्हें? मैं अपनी महंगी लग्जरी क्या धुलवा रहा हूँ? आंखें या बटन?
गाड़ी धुल रहे हो, पानी वेस्ट कर रहे हो।
तुम्हें ये पानी वेस्टिंग लगती है? अरे गाड़ी धुलेगी नहीं तो चमकेगी कैसे? अरे बताइए बताइए कैसे चमकेगी फिर?
पर यहाँ पीने का पानी तो है नहीं किसी के पास, और अब गाड़ी धुलने में सारा वेस्ट कर रहे हो।
तो मैं क्या करूं? पीने का पानी नहीं है, मैंने पानी खरीदा है, मैं यूज नहीं करूंगा तो और कौन करेगा?
पर पानी भी तो सबका हक होता है ना।
सबका हक, सबका हक। अरे सुनो भाई, देखो भाई, सब लोग देखो देखो देखो, ये क्या अन्याय हो रहा है? अरे ये घोर कलयुग है, कलयुग, कलंक है, कलंक ये। बताइए, छोटी सी बच्ची मुझे सिखा रही है कि पानी कैसे बचाए, पानी की वेस्टिंग हो रही है। लगता है इन लोगों को इनकी स्कूल वाली मैडम पढ़ा देती है हाउ टू सेव वाटर, और ये बच्ची वही आके हमें पढ़ा रही है, अंकल अंकल पानी वेस्ट मत करो। अरे बेटा, जब अपनी खुद की महंगी कार खरीदोगी ना, तब समझ आएगा कि ऐसे वाली लाइफ में और रियल लाइफ में क्या फर्क होता है। समझी मिस मोरल कुमारी देवी?
एक लड़की भोली भाली सी, अंकल को वो समझाती थी, स्कूल में जो पढ़ा था उसने वो ही कहा था, पर भाई तो अंकल के हाथ है।
पानी, पानी जिंदगी की जरूरत है। इसके बिना ना तो हम जी सकते हैं और ना ही इस पृथ्वी के अस्तित्व की कल्पना की जा सकती है। पृथ्वी का लगभग 3/4 हिस्सा पानी से घिरा हुआ है और पीने योग्य पानी 1% से भी कम है, जिस 1% पानी में नदियां, झील, तालाब आदि आते हैं। मतलब पीने योग्य पानी बहुत ही कम, और जो है उसकी भी हम कद्र नहीं करते। नदियां सूख रही हैं, तालाब सूख रहे हैं, जमीन के नीचे का पानी और नीचे जा रहा है और जमीन बंजर हो रही है, जमीन बंजर हो रही है।
अरे पांडे जी, गुप्ता जी, पानी आ गया भैया, पानी आ
अरे इसका तो सर फूट गया, फट जाएगा, सर फाड़ दिया, बहुत अंदर पानी नहीं आ रहा घर में,
मर गया भैया।
तू भी मर जाएगी। पानी मैं भरूंगा, बता ले।
भर लो भैया, आप ही भर लो।
राधा, ओ राधा,
जी
अरे पानी तो लाना जरा।
जी लाई। ये लीजिए।
ये ले। ये देख, देख तेरे लिए मैं लड्डू लेके आया हूँ, देखो पसंद है लड्डू, ये लड्डू खा।
और अभी तो बैसाखी में कितना समय पड़ा हुआ है।
अरे पगली, मैं हलवाई की दुकान के सामने से निकल रहा था तो मेरे को लड्डू दिखी, मेरे को याद आया तेरे को पसंद है ना, तू खा, ये मैं अपने हाथ से तुझे खिलाता हूँ।
पर आपके पास इतने पैसे कहाँ से आए?
इतने सवाल मत किया अगर पगली, लड्डू खा ले।
पर आपके पास इतने पैसे आए कहाँ से?
ये सवाल मत कर, आ बैठ बैठ, तुझे कुछ बताना, बैठ जा। लड्डू खा लिया तूने? राधा, धोखा मिला है,
क्या हुआ?
धोखा मिला है राधा,
ऐसे क्यों बोल रहे हैं? क्या हुआ?
धोखा मिला है उस जमीन से, भरोसा करके हमने उससे कर्ज लिया था, धोखा मिला उस भगवान से,
पानी।
बारिश करवानी थी उन्होंने, क्यों नहीं करवाई, धोखा मिला है उन नदियों से, पानी पानी रहना था उनमें।
क्यों मर रहा है किसान? क्यों सूख रही हमारी नदियां? प्रश्न लेकिन यह है कि कहां है नदियां? 1947 में हम सभी के यूज के लिए जितना पानी हमें चाहिए होता था, आज उसका सिर्फ 25% बचा है, और अनुमान यह भी है कि इसका भी आधा ही बचेगा 2030 तक। जी हां, जितना पानी आज आपको मिलता है उसका भी आधा ही मिल पाएगा आपको 2030 तक। हमारी नदियां सूख रही हैं। गंगा 44%, कावेरी 40%, और सरस्वती का तो नामो निशान ही खत्म हो चुका है, रेगिस्तान बन चुकी है वो। जो नदियां सालों से बहती आई थी, एक ही पीढ़ी में हमने उन्हें सुखा दिया है। क्या कर सकते हैं हम अपनी नदियों को बचाने के लिए?
तो
क्या कर सकते हैं हम लोग? एक मुहिम है रैली फॉर रिवर्स। इस मुहिम में आपको सहयोग देने के लिए केवल एक मिस कॉल करना है। मिस कॉल इस नंबर पर। क्या होगा मिस कॉल करने से? हर एक मिस कॉल एक वोट की तरह काउंट होगी, जो हम सरकार को दिखाएंगे, जिससे सरकार नदियों के दोनों तरफ 1 किलोमीटर तक पेड़ लगाएगी। अभी भी हमारे पास वक्त है, अक्टूबर 30 तक का टाइम है हमारे पास, जितनी मिस कॉल कलेक्ट कर सके। तो आप सबसे रिक्वेस्ट है कि खुद भी मिस कॉल करें और जितनों से करवा सके। थैंक यू।
जैसे दिल में तेल है, जो चकमक में आग, तेरा साईं तुझ में जाग सके तो जाग। त्रिवेणी के रंग घाट पे चुगी गया हंसा मोती, त्रिवेणी के रंग घाट पे चुगी गया हंसा हर भज हीरा परख ले समझ पकड़ धरी नजबूती हर भज हीरा परख ले समझ पकड़ धरी नजबूती
युगरतो वा भोगरतो वा संगरतो वा संगविहीनः यस्य ब्रह्मणि रमते चित्तम् नन्दति नन्दति नन्दते वा सत्संगत्वे निस्संगत्वम् निस्संगत्वे निर्मोहत्वम् निर्मोहत्वे निश्चलतत्वम् निश्चलतत्वे जीवन्मुक्तिः पुनरपि जननं पुनरपि मरणम् पुनरपि जननी जठरे शयनम् इह संसारे बहुदुस्तारे इह इह संसारे बहु दुस्तारे पाहि मुरारे कृपया पारे हमारी नदियां सूख रहा है। Last 30 days I've been only talking this, okay? Probably 10 times, 15 times in a day. Only talking this, so I'm sorry. Though a rally in some form has been on my mind for some time, I think maybe that's too low for the cameras. That's too low. I like it, but that's okay, yeah. Though it's been on my mind for some time about the rally, I debated various forms of doing it within myself. I believed I spoke for the first time. This is a satsang, if you can keep off your phones, please. I know you have to show your family where you have been, otherwise they need photographic evidence that you are actually in the satsang, not somewhere else. I believe that I spoke for the first time only 3 months ago, that is 2 months before the rally, to our teams in the ashram. But it seems more than a year ago, I spoke in a program in California. I didn't remember that. I didn't think that information would slowly filter down here. I didn't even remember I said this, but it seems I said, and they came here and inquired with people here. Sadhguru said there's going to be a rally, when is that going to happen? Nobody here knew what rally. So it's only 2 months ago, 2 months before the rally, that I spoke to our teams. And because our teams function best only when you set an impossible deadline and a killing schedule. An impossible deadline and a killing schedule is the medicine for our teams. They just go all out. And largely we've kept them like that for the last 25, 30 years, 25 years at least. from event to event, from situation to situation. It's always been like that. And things started happening on the ground within the ashram, so much confusion about, oh, rally from where to where, how will we go, what will happen, this will happen, how many people, this. It was very clear in my mind what should happen and what will happen. But as usual, I spoke different things to different people. Because when you have to create something which has never been done before and which is of a certain scale and involves various aspects, it's important that everybody's box breaks, their head should break. Because for most people, they use their head like a cannonball. It has to be fired by something, otherwise it won't go anywhere. By itself, if it could grow like a tree and blossom, it would be great. But it's not like that, you got to fire it and then it fires. So it got really fired, and all the Isha teams I don't know if it's yet sank into all of them what they have achieved. It's a most incredible thing that's happened in recent times in this country. The sheer scale and the nature of it is such that I knew if I gave too much time, suppose I spoke about it 6 months ago, 1 year ago, there would be too much debate and too much confusion. So it was time, some little less than 60 days, I think. And everybody fired. All our teams on the ground, in the ashram, our media teams, social media teams, just about everybody got into the act. And the rally got propelled. The sheer effort and energy behind it, above all, the power of consciousness, this is what it means. I was telling somebody some time ago, at Isha, we're just a bunch of idiots doing incredible things. This is the power of consciousness. None of them have a PhD in anything, nor do they have an MBA, most of them. Most of them, because they dropped out of school and they didn't know where to go, they landed up with me. Yes, very few of them are reasonably educated. Rest are all just like me. So it doesn't take any great intellect. It doesn't take that you have to go to Harvard or Stanford to do something or create something wonderful. It just takes absolute devotion towards what you wish to do. If that one thing is there, once our energies get focused in a certain direction, everything works for us. In the yogic lore, The yogis very mischievously say like this, that if your chitta is touched, the moment you touch chitta, which is beyond memory, which is beyond understanding, which is beyond boundaries, which is beyond education or knowledge, if you touch that dimension, then God will become your slave. This is a demonstration of that. The entire nation got carried with this. Never before in the history of independent India, for 30 days, anything has been reported as Rally for Rivers has been reported across the country. This is not to brag about ourselves, this is to acknowledge all the media houses across the country that essentially this proves that, as I said, it was on everybody's mind somewhere, but they were dodging it within themselves, because who is to bell the cat? As I said, it takes a fool to go and bell the cat, not knowing whether it's a tiger or a house cat. Because you never know. If you touch a house cat, it could suddenly evolve into a tiger. It happens with many situations. Has it not happened to you sometimes? You thought something was a house cat and did meow, and that thing roared and tried to bite your head off. Many people warn me. There are some very cautious people also in the ashram, some sane, very highly educated, and not the insane people who will simply jump and do whatever I ask them to do. There are some sane, good people. They said, this is foolish, you're risking your entire reputation. It's not that I'm not conscious of that. I said, this one thing, this responsibility, I must fulfill in my life. I'm willing to risk my reputation and my life. Because this is that vital to ensure that our rivers are flowing for the future generations, is that vital an act that we have to perform. Well, is everything going to become fixed because 30 days we were on the road? I'm not that stupid, okay? To believe everything will be fixed tomorrow morning, all rivers will flow. No. But definitely, nation cannot ignore this. Things will start getting galvanized. How quickly or how slowly is the only question. If all of us keep our foot on the gas continuously, like I did for 30 days, maybe some of you were with us. Some days we drove up to 18 hours a day. These journeys, in normal conditions, if I was driving alone, I would have done this in 5-6 hours. Yes, my car could touch 240 kilometers per hour, but I had to keep behind Chambal. Chambal was my security jeep and I had to stay behind that. And we had to stop at every place wherever we saw a blue board. One person, 2 people, 10 people, 100 people, 1,000 people, whatever the number, wherever we saw a blue board, we stopped. So many times we stopped. A 6-7 hour journey stretched into anywhere between 12 to 16 hours very easily, a few days, I think one day, 18-hour drive. We left Pondicherry at 7 in the morning, reached Mysore at 12:30 in the night. What is that? And thanks to, except a few places, maybe even 25% or 20% of the roads, largely 70 to 80% of the roads, we have to acknowledge that this development has happened in the last maybe 8 years' time. Because the last time I drove a long distance in the country was about 8 years ago. How the roads were and how they are today, many parts of the country, it's as good as anywhere in the world. Of course, the drivers, a lot needs to be done about them because some of them were American. Because they were coming on the wrong side. They were just driving on the right side of the road when I was driving on the left side of the road. And it was, some close shaves here and there. So, it's been quite a ride. It's been nice to be seeing India on the road because last few years I've been just buzzing around, not seeing anything except the dreary airports, not dreary. Our airports are the best in the world, if you don't know this. If you go to Mumbai, Delhi, Hyderabad, Bangalore airports, we are the best in the world. Nowhere else on the planet do they have airports like this. So, except for airports, I don't see anything else. It's become like conference hall and airport, classroom, airport. This is what I've been seeing. But it was nice to be back on the road, meeting the people, sitting in a tea shop. Long time I have not done these things. When post Dhyanalinga, when I was completely incapacitated and I couldn't speak for a few days, my tongue was slack and I could not speak and I could barely sit up in the bed. So at that time, when they saw I was not recovering, so somebody who knows my passions said, I think it's time we go on a road trip, Sadhguru. It seems for the first time in 3 days I opened my eyes. I looked at the road trip. Because everything that I ever learned, I learned on the street, not in a schoolroom or a classroom. Always on the street. Street has a very negative connotation. If you say street, today people think alcohol, drugs, prostitution. If you say somebody's walking the street, it does not mean they're enjoying the breeze and walking on the street. It means something bad, negative. This is what we wish to change in the world. We want to change the definition of what is street. Street made me like this. This is what should happen. Street should represent well-being, because maximum number of people are on the street, isn't it? Street should represent well-being, street should represent joy, street should represent humanity, but unfortunately street means drug, alcohol, prostitution. This is what it means right now, everywhere in the world. So, if we have to change this, we need a large-scale movement. Rivers offered that opportunity to us, drying rivers, unfortunately. And this will not just remain an ecological effort, this will definitely translate itself into a spiritual process for many people who have come in touch with us. You should have seen yesterday the BSF Jawans who travelled with us, all in tears. They are all coming and hugging me and in tears. Soldiers, okay? They were still carrying weapons. And they are in tears. It's like closing like an engineering program or a Bhava Spandana. When they came, they didn't know who we were, they came like that, like… Now they're all like that in 30 days' time. I barely spoke to them except a couple of them who traveled with me. But the street transformed them. This is what the street should do to every human being. It should transform individual human beings. So, the process is essentially spiritual. Right now, the goal is ecological because, you know Gautama, the Buddha? Huh? Got enlightened under a tree. I'm planning large-scale enlightenment process. We need trees, Where to make all of you sit down when that day comes? Huh? You will sit in a pub? Or a coffee shop? No, I want you to have a nice tree when that day comes. A good tree to sit under, at least a 20-year-old tree. If not a 100-year-old tree, at least a 20-year-old tree where it looks decent. When you take a selfie when you're enlightened, you must be at least sitting under a decent tree, isn't it? So it's time for everything you need infrastructure. So the rally, see, I'm still in the clothes, okay, is still on. Till when will it be on? We will continue the missed call efforts till 31st of October. We have crossed 12 crore missed calls. That's only 40% of what I said. I said 30 crore. We have crossed 12 crore, which is a phenomenal number by itself. Because, initially I said 10 crore, then I said 20, then I said 30. These days I'm saying 60 crore would be. Because number system was invented by Indians. We have the freedom to use it whichever way. Especially the zero is our making. When we are able to multiply our population 4 times in 70 years, why can't we multiply the missed calls? All these 12 crore people, 1 month is over, this month you can call once again. Or the new people can call, it's better. It's important because the question is not a particular number. The question is, India must participate. That's what is important. Irrespective of what they're doing in their lives, every citizen must participate. Only then there is strength. Today we have presented the policy. Do we have a book here? Do we have the… not that. Does it look like a book for you? You've not been to school, just like me. Do we have the document here? No. I should have brought that and showed it to you. It's an impressive book, this thick and… You saw the book on the Twitter? Huh? You saw the picture, okay. So, it's a very well-designed and wonderful documentation with many case studies how rivers have been revived across the world in various kinds of soils, various kind of climates, and how it can be done in India. Leaving what methods will be employed, administrative and other implementation process to the government, just the science of it and the economics of it has been presented in the book that runs to 700 pages, I think, little less than 700 pages. Now the important thing is that this unprecedented, without parallel, I'm telling you, this rally is without parallel. Not just in India, nowhere else on the planet ever, an ecological movement has become so large. Always ecology means fringe groups fighting for something. That's how it is. Because we started off this with the right note, saying this is not an agitation, this is not a protest, this is not against anybody. The entire nation responded. The media responded wonderfully. All the national icons of film and sport responded. I think they made a big difference in the whole process. We wish to congratulate and express our gratitude to all of them. Above all of you, the volunteers, Isha volunteers across the country, you're quite crazy. That's a good qualification. Because if you don't have a mad heart, you will die of constipation. Not constipation of the digestive tract, constipation of life. Very little happens, that's constipation. Yes? Much more was possible, but very little happened in your life. That is a constipated life, isn't it? So, if you don't have a mad heart, you will die of a constipated life. So it's important. It is not… Life is not about what you have and what you don't have. It is not about what you managed to gather or what you did not manage to gather. It is not about what you wore or where you lived and what you drove. It is about the profoundness of your experience. The only wealth in your life is, how profound is your life? But if you sacrifice that for the heaps of things that you gather, well, many homes have become like warehouses. They're continuously adding up and they don't know when to give it away. It's just going on, accumulating. Where are you going to take this warehouse and go? But if your experience of life became profound, that's the only real wealth that you can carry. Because the only goddamn thing that you have in your life is life itself. There's nothing else. Others are all just… you imagine in your thoughts and emotion. Your wealth is just an imagination. Where is it? Is it sitting on your head? I'm asking right now. Your love affair is just an imagination. You don't like it, but it's all right. Everything that comes up in your thought and your emotion is just your imagination. The profoundness of experience will work on a completely different level of life. It leaves you in a different way, a mature life you become. I'm sure in this 1 month, many volunteers across the country, their experience is far more profound than it ever was in their life. That is more important for me than how many people came, what happened. Thousands of people, their experience of life has become far more profound than what it was, and that's all that matters. And that profoundness happened, knowingly or unknowingly, for some time they forgot, what about me? that's all. In wanting to create something, most people destroy themselves. You see, people who think they are doing something important look absolutely constipated. Yes or no? So, हमारी नदियां सूख रही हैं. It's not a laughing matter. If you do not know how to address the most serious aspects of life lightly, life shall sit very heavy upon your heart. It will sit so heavy, when you're alive, you feel like you're already buried. Yes, you can do this to yourself. You've done this to yourself many times, isn't it? Hello?
Yes.
You again maybe came out. Have you ever seen some of these creatures who dig their way out of the hole and just come out? They've been holding their breath for a long time and they come like this. I see a lot of people like that. This is why they go sit in a pub or a bar or a restaurant. Rest of the time they're burying themselves. Somewhere in one place they will relax a bit. Yes, this is their party, this is their bar, this is their pub, this is their picnic, this is their love affair, where one place they breathe a little bit. I want to know the joy. I want you to know the joy of breathing every moment freely. If you want to know the joy, this is all you have to do. You must drop this one thought, what about me? I'll tell you what about you, we'll bury you one day, that's all it's about you. The question is, before you're buried, how profound is your life? The question is not how deeply will you be buried. Question is about how profound is your experience of life. What about me? Well, shall I describe the last scene? If you're lucky in Delhi, we may set up Isha Kayanta Sthanam. Everybody's a customer. You know about this? Huh? You know about this? Okay. No, they all know about it, you find out from them. It's an ad. It's an Isha ad you have to find out, which we have not published. So, whether we burn you or bury you, that's about it. It's just that, before that, how profound is your life? That's all it is. Profoundness will not happen because of the activity that we do. Profoundness happens because what we are creating becomes bigger than ourselves. This can happen with every single act. It is not like only when we do one big rally across the country this happens. This can happen with every single act, that what you're doing is bigger than who you are. What you're doing is far more important than your own existence and your own survival. If you approach everything like this, then life will become super profound. If it is that profound, human beings will function like superhuman beings. Not because you became superhuman, because your constipation got relieved. You yourself can't believe when the constipation is gone. I'm choosing particularly a nasty example because I see People walk by, if there is a beautiful flower with wonderful fragrance, they are capable of ignoring and walking away. Little bit of shit on their face, oh, suddenly they're conscious. So that's the only thing people are getting. So I learned this trick on the street. You got to throw some shit at them, then they become conscious. Beautiful flowers, they can ignore. Anything that's happening, they can ignore. Wonderful things happening, moon is up in the sky, they can ignore. Most people have not seen a goddamn moon. But you throw little shit on their face, they are suddenly sitting up. So, I'm telling you, if you are constipated and then suddenly you got loose motion, you can't believe you had so much. This is just like that. If you have constipated your life constantly with what about me, what about me, what about me, you take that off and see, suddenly you can't believe you're so big. It will happen. So, what is the next step? The next step is just this, that are there some people who consider themselves young? Hey, before you raise your hand, just kind of make a estimate what I may be driving towards. Suddenly you may become old. This happened like this. You know, in the night, in India it's still allowed, in most of the countries unfortunately they've been all killed. In India, after you all go to bed, you go out somewhere, see in a marketplace or somewhere there are restaurants or somewhere outside where there'll be some amount of food available. You will see 25–30 dogs having their own parliament. Have you seen this? They're suddenly so relaxed and among themselves so that all the idiotic human beings are gone and they are at play and… Have you seen them? Very happily doing like this. Then among them, there was a leader dog. If you want, you can call him a guru dog. Hey, what's wrong? If you can… human beings can have a human being as a guru, why can't the dogs have a guru dog? So he went on advising them that, you know, the only reason we have been enslaved by human beings, they have belted us, collared us, chained us, and they treat us so badly. When we are carnivorous, they feed us tair sadam. They don't give us what we like, they do everything that we don't like, and we are supposed to wag our tails when they come and they go. All this slavery has happened only because we balk. If we don't balk at all, then why will they keep us at home? They will let us go. We will become free. Like this, the guru dog was giving teaching. All the dogs agreed, just like you. But you know, when the itch comes, they had to bark, just like you. You agree with everything that I say, but anyway you do. So they said yes, but… Whoa! especially on a moonlit night. The dogs bark much more, have you noticed this? Because in the night when they see their shadows and the moon, they look up and they start barking. So, when things were going on like this for many years, then the Guru dog's 6th birthday, not 60th, okay? 6th birthday. Being Indians don't add zeros. It's not realistic for a dog. 6th birthday, and they thought we must give him a surprise gift. So they sat down for a meeting without him. They're meeting to say, what should we offer our Guru? So somebody said, in Amazon I saw a really nice brass-studded belt, collar. And they said, they rejected this, saying, this is a symbol of slavery, our Guru is always working for our liberation and mukti. He won't like these things. Then they said, I saw a gold-plated chain in the local mall. That should be good. It looks like a really nice ornament, like how human beings wear. Then they rejected that a chain is a symbol of slavery. That's not it. Like this, many suggestions, dog biscuits and this and that and other fair and lovely care, everything was rejected. Then they decided, what is it that our Guru really wants? He wants us to be free from the human beings. He doesn't want us to bark. On this full moon day, which is his birthday, let us do one thing. That night, none of us will bark. Now, full moon day, evening is approaching. They know their weakness. If they see the moon, they'll feel like barking. So some of them went under your sofas, some of them went under your parked cars, because they don't want to look at the moon. If they look at the moon, they'll feel like barking. So they were all holding tight and sitting. The Guru dog had his dinner and he came to the meeting place. Nobody has turned up. And like you, he just walked around for digestion and how come nobody has come? Like this he looked. When these two directions are over, what do? Looked up. There he saw the moon. He got the itch. He felt like barking. Then he said, I cannot bark, you know. I have been teaching everybody not to bark, I cannot bark. He put his head down and walked. Again he got an itch. Then he struggled with it. Then he looked around. Anyway, nobody's here. Little barking is not going to cause any harm to anybody. So he said, bow, he started. The moment they heard this bow, all of them thought, oh, anyway the gift has been broken by somebody. And they all started. This is how the world is destroyed. Because somebody is doing something that destroys something. Oh, he's doing it, so what's the problem? I can do it too. Everybody did it. Now a super mighty life like river, if you don't know what I'm talking about, do this. In the next 2 years, all of you must do this, I'm telling you. Somewhere, maybe from Allahabad to Kashi or somewhere, take one boat. There are boats. They'll safely take you, you can wear your life jacket and all that stuff. Just go down, probably it takes 2.5 days to get to Kashi. It'll be the experience of your life, just feeling the river, what it means, what a life it is. It's a mighty life. And we brought such a mighty life to its knees, thinking, okay, she is doing something, so I also do something, he also does something, somebody else does something. In the end, what you see is a disaster. Little things, everybody doing. So, anyway, we've come to this barking business. Let's bark in a productive way. Yeah?
Yes.
This happened. This is well before all this Chandrayaan, Mangalyaan, Apollo, Sputnik, all this, well before that, a few centuries ago. This happened in America, where people believed there are other people living on the moon and they want to naturally have a chat with them. So there was no technological means, so they decided, one appointed day, at a specific time, all of us will come on our rooftops. Just at that moment, every one of us, in one single voice, we will shout, "Who?" The idea is, who are you? Who are you? To get it in a rhythm, you know how we're getting Bharatam all distorted? Like that it'll become. So just one word, all of us say, "Who?" And if they hear that, they will… let's see what they say, who they are. You know, it's America. So, that appointed time came. Everybody stood on their rooftops ready with their lungs flared up. But then I thought, you know, I'm just a small voice, without a microphone you couldn't even hear me. She's there, she has a big voice. When she's there and he's there and she's there and he's there and he's there and she's there, such big champion voices. When all of them are shouting, what is my voice? Nothing much. And this is a unique moment. When the entire world says something in one voice, you want to hear that. So, when that moment came, I kept quiet. And that moment was a spectacular moment because that moment passed in absolute silence. Because everybody thought the same. All these big champions will do, what? It means I am there. I am not a missed call, I am missed. I am the one who missed. Everybody's calling now, it's okay. So, this is one big problem with lot of human beings. If they have to get something, they become very big, they have rights. If they have to give something, they will become so small and insignificant. There's something worthless all of a sudden. They'll become very humble. After all, I'm nothing, Sadhguru. What can I do, Sadhguru? But you go and see them in their day-to-day life, Yes or no? You just have to reverse the equation. When you have to contribute something, you are big. When you have to receive something, you become small. Life will change dramatically. Dramatically, believe me. So, the rally for rivers continues till the rivers flow. We have many things rolling out on the ground, but this will need dedicated people. Oh, that's okay. What can I do, Sadhguru? So, we don't want any emotional action. Tomorrow morning you go and plant a tree next to Yamuna, it's so toxic, even the tree will die. That's not the action we want. Right now the action is to get the governments in the country to act. There's a lot of work to do. Today we have presented the the draft policy recommendations for revitalization of India's rivers to we have presented this to the Prime Minister, which was received with utmost reverence and enthusiasm for the cause. But that's not the end of the game. There is a lot more to be done, because to translate this into action, there is a lot of work to be done. This work, unless we keep the throttle on, it may go on the back burner. There are 1,000 issues on their hands on a day-to-day basis. Whatever is crying right now, they will attend to that. So you must all be crying. You must use your lung power, anyway you speak, right? Every day. So I want you to just dedicate it, 10% of your speech, whatever you speak per day. Let us say you are speaking 10,000 words. 1,000 words should be about rivers every day. How's that? If you're sending out 100 messages, 10 messages should be about rivers. Ah, Sadhguru, but my friends will think I'm a nutcase. If you don't do it, you are a nutcase. Because if you don't understand why, from where the source of life is for you and me, you are a nutcase, isn't it? Tell me. This is like the proverbial Panchatantra story, the man sitting on the wrong side of the branch and chopping it. When he succeeds, he's going to crash. Is he not a fool? Is he not a nutcase? That's exactly where we are right now. If we succeed, we will fail. How's that? Only if our economy fails and everything that we are doing fails, then we will survive. Is this not a nutcase business? Hello? Is this not absolutely insane population, I'm asking you? If we succeed, we must thrive, isn't it? No, if we fail, we will survive. If we succeed, we will be damned. That's how we're going in the world, not just India, entire world. But India will get it first simply because of the population pressure, and within the limited land, how much population you have, we will get the first dose of the disaster. The world will get it too, but some are better organized and they've built walls. So, this must continue, and we will… the Rally for Rivers Facebook will remain active. What is the course of action at every point? We'll come on that. I want all of you to respond and be active and see it. If not every day, once a week you must go to Rally for Rivers Facebook. Suppose nothing is posted, you post something, all right? Because keep it active. I want you to understand, everybody else who is working within the foundation are also volunteers like you. It is just that They took a little bigger step than you, that's all. Otherwise, they are also volunteers. They came there for a spiritual process, but now we are putting them into other action, because no action is not spiritual in my way of looking at things. I'm telling you, what I learned on the street led me into who I am today. It's up to you. When you see lots of negative things, either you become part of that or you grow beyond that. That's up to you in every moment of your life, isn't it? This is why lotus is always used as a symbol in yoga, because lotus grows best in filth. Some people develop allergy to filth. Such people will become constipated. Some other people think, anyway there is so much filth, let me also become filth. They will become filth. Some will use the filth as manure and blossom into a very fragrant flower. This is the three choices we have with every aspect of our life. Doesn't matter where we are placed in our life right now, in what kind of situations we are placed right now. Either you can use it to grow, or you can use it to make nothing out of yourself, or you can become allergic and try to exclude yourself from everything. This is the choice. But without involvement, there is no experience of life, isn't it? Without involvement, there is no experience. If life has to become profound, involvement must be unbridled. Only then there is profoundness to life. Calculated involvement will take care of your survival and nothing but. But then, what the hell are you surviving for? Because anyway you will die. If you could survive forever by withdrawing from life, by not giving yourself to anything, if you could survive forever, that would be a worthy cause. But it doesn't matter how much you survive, anyway you will die. Isn't it better to be involved and die? To experience life as profoundly as possible and die? So, the next course of action is towards getting this into your policy. There are many complexities, okay? It's not a simple process, there are many aspects to it. There are legislative challenges, legal challenges, administrative challenges, and execution, there are many complexities. One fortunate thing for us is the political class across political spectrum, the different parties, they've all come together for this one rally. This is a tremendous plus. This is a tremendous plus. Because of that, more than 50% of the problems are solved because of that one hurdle that we have crossed. The rest of it is technical challenges, administrative challenges, which has to be addressed in detail. And maybe much back and forth will happen. I hope it doesn't go into years. We hope to settle this in a few months. But we need people to handle these things. And we need people on the ground, we need people to lead this, and many states are expecting that we will do those economic modules, 50 to 100-kilometer stretches of the river, where we can show that shifting to tree-based agriculture is far more beneficial to the farmer than the way he's doing things. For all this, we need lots of people. These 16 states, I'm thinking 100 people from each state means 1600, but some are two-in-one. I said, when I was in Chandigarh, I said, this is a two-in-one state. They said, the chief minister said, no, it's three-in-one, because there are two states in the union territory. You also, something like that, hybrid you are. No? So, taking all this, I'm looking in the next few years at least 1200 people standing up full-time and making things happen. Immediately we need at least a few hundred people who will be on the ground, because training will take 2, 3 months or 5 months or 6 months, depending on how dumb you are. Okay. And there is a whole lot of work to turn this into a policy and put it on the ground. These are two aspects of it. In some states, I'm very confident it'll happen. Even without policy being passed, it will just happen. In some states, it will be a struggle. In some states, it will be an uphill task. All these things are there. There are topographical issues, there are cultural issues, there are a variety of issues which needs to be handled. But in the next 5 years' time, if we set up large enough modules, successful modules on the ground, we have done our job. And after that, the nation, to what extent it takes it or doesn't take it, is left to people. But we have shown that it is a successful module, large enough module that nobody can ignore. Beyond that, we'll see. So we need young people to stand up. Oh, what do I do, Sadhguru? But I bought my new motorcycle, I have to pay the loan. I'll give you an old one. I'm saying, just surrender this one thought, what about me? You will see life will happen in heaps. Life will happen in a torrent, not in a limited way, not as a trickle. And there are things to do which you should do, which is beyond yourself. Only if you do something larger than yourself, forever you feel fulfilled. You do things which are smaller than you. Every day evening you have to go to your party, otherwise you can't laugh, you can't smile, you can't sing, you can't dance, because unless you get drunk on something, life doesn't happen without chemicals. The entire world is moving in this direction. If I just look at the moon, I get intoxicated within 2 minutes because there's a big ball of hash out there. Yes. I get totally and if I was not hashed out like that all the time, 30 days on the road. I think they were putting out yesterday on the way, this thing, I don't know how many of you grasped it. 146 events and over 185 or whatever, 180 one-on-one interviews. Most of the time when I was driving, I was doing interviews because microphones and cameras, everything was set in the car. We're driving constantly at a certain speed through all kinds of traffic and terrain, but constantly I was doing interviews on the drive. Only today, because the rally is over, my throat is giving up a little bit. So, this effort that so many people have put in, all the celebrities in the country, icons, sport icons, film icons, political leaders, and the volunteers, and the ashram inmates and brahmacharis, most of them, this is normal for them, not to think about what will happen to them. They're working like they're going to die today, like today is the last day, like that. That's the way to live. How do you know today is not the last day anyway? Hello? How do you know today is not the last day? You don't know, isn't it? Oh, Sadhguru, but you know, you have blessed us. And you must also change the complexion of the Isha crowd. Some of these young boys and girls are just going crazy, they're thrusting their phones into my face and knocking me down because they want to take a selfie when I'm down. What's happening? A little more civilization, huh? Yesterday, I don't know if you're here, one of the young boys, in this madness to take selfie, they hit Sonu Nigam in the forehead with his phone like this, talk. And he went like this, ah! I said, what are you doing, you know? No, selfie, selfie. The American Psychiatric Association has said selfie taking is a disorder. I always knew. But I have also taken 7 selfies. Have you seen them? Yes. I have taken 7 and I will continue to take wherever I see a river, but it's tough from now on to stop and take it, but you must take selfies only with rivers, okay? You taking a lot of selfies? Huh? You make yourself so beautiful that others will want to take a picture of you. Yes? But Sadhguru, how to become beautiful? Will you take me to Florida? No, that doesn't make you beautiful. A joyful face is always a beautiful face, isn't it? It's not the shape of the nose, it's not the shape of the chin or the color of your skin which makes you beautiful. You just look at a really joyful face, it's always a beautiful face, isn't it so? Just carry a joyful face and see, people on the street will take pictures of you. That's how it should happen. You clicking your own… What is that? And at least in the Isha meetings, please stop this selfie business, huh? Because it's getting unruly and uncivilized. Don't pull out your cell phones in the satsang and in another 20 minutes it'll be on the YouTube. What are you going to do with your cell phone? They're capturing with good cameras and they're going to put it out there, you download it and keep it in your phone. No, you want to capture it and in that you miss the entire satsang. This is happening to a lot of people. So you must stop it, not just you stop it, you must stop others who want to use technology to destroy themselves. See, this is such a fantastic thing. This phone is not a simple thing. Maybe all of you do not know what it was before we got these phones. I must tell you this. When we were building the foundation, when Isha Foundation is being built, I'm always, I don't have a phone book or a diary or anything, everything is here. So, I have to call lots of people. I have at least 800 to 850 numbers on my mind and their names and numbers. Local numbers, international numbers, everything. Today I cannot even remember my own number because of this cell phone. So, when I want to make phone calls, I just go to one of those blue boxes, STD, ISD, local, all that stuff. And blue color metal box which is hot and grills outside. So I go there and first thing is I pull out 5,000 rupees and give it to him. He looks at it, why? Because usually the calls are 10 rupees, 20 rupees, 100 rupees like this. I give him 5,000 bucks. So I said, just keep it, huh? Because he has to fight my battles. Then once I go into the booth, I will call for the next 2-3 hours. So others will come and say, what was that? But that guy will be taking care of them because I've already given him advance. What he would earn that entire day, he's making it up in 2-3 hours' time. So he's happy fighting my battle with all the people. So I keep on calling. On the highway, if I see a blue booth somewhere without too many people, I stop there and start my calls. Today, I'm driving, if I say the name, my phone calls. The convenience of that, not a small thing, it's a tremendous thing. Such a tremendous thing, don't make a nuisance out of it. Isn't it a tremendous convenience in our lives? Tremendous, never before was it ever possible. You can pull something out of your pocket and speak to somebody in America. When was it possible, ever? So don't make such a fantastic convenience into terrible nuisance that you thrust it in somebody's face all the time. Yes, it's very important because how you use those technologies also determines how you're going to use this technology. This has become a nuisance. Your brain has become a nuisance, isn't it? Instead of giving you ecstasy, it is giving you headache. This is simply because you don't know how to use the technology, isn't it? Such a tremendous thing. It took millions of years to manufacture this, and now it's a mess. People are thinking with half the brain they would be better. Yes? So, I want you to use this rally in every possible way to enhance your own life. Your life should flow along with the rivers. It's very important. So I'm looking forward to managing to live with Delhi people in the ashram. I mean, those youth, 100 youth who are coming, we will manage with you. Because you breathe in here and you come out and breathe there, we have to endure the pollution, but we have 100 million trees in the backyard of the ashrams, you know. We have a rainforest which runs for nearly 10,000 square miles. That entire forest is over 10,000 square miles. So, we can handle the pollution that you bring, don't worry about that. But you must come minus one thought. What's that thought? You got it, then what? So, just one question. If you think it's a relevant question, don't ask me, Sadhguru, can I take a selfie? Yes, please.
Namaskaram, Sadhguru. Can I take 2 minutes?
For a question?
Something I need to tell you and then ask the question.
We'll take a vote. You want to give him 2 minutes?
Thank
Okay.
you. So, I've always wanted to be a musician, and and I have a South Indian father. So, it was a very rocky relationship with him, and he sent me for B.Tech in Andhra Pradesh. I ran away from hostel. I came back to Delhi, he put me into law, I quit that. Finally, somehow established myself in Delhi as a small musician, and later on I became a part of Rally for Rivers and I volunteered myself. Some big explosion happened within me yesterday, and I told I got a link on a WhatsApp group by Wing Akka saying that we could volunteer ourselves for the next 3 years as being part of the Rally for Rivers thing. So I registered myself yesterday and I told my father that I'll be leaving everything and…
What are you leaving, man? You got nothing, you left the…
That's okay. So he…
Everybody likes to make some drama about it. I'm leaving everything. What the hell are you living? I'm going to give the entire Vellangiri mountain to you. How's that?
Thank you. So, my father got really angry because he saw me settling into something after a very long time, and he was like, this is not what you want to do, and he became so angry that he called you a spiritual terrorist. And he wanted me to ask you this, that what is my responsibility as a son for my parents? And I want to ask you this, that am I doing the right thing? I believe that I am doing the right thing.
There are no right things to do in life. If you choose something and put everything that you have into it, it'll become a great thing. Is it the right thing? Is it the best thing? When you say, is it the right thing, what you're asking is it the best thing to do in life? There is no best thing to do in life. Anything that you take up and if you put your heart and soul into it, it becomes a great thing. Is it the best thing? No. Then what is the best thing? There is no such thing. There's really no such thing. And now that you have duties towards your parents, tell me, whether it's to yourself or to your parents or to anybody, don't look at yourself as a Delhiite or an idiot, whatever you want to call yourself. If you're just a piece of life, Hello? Yes. And today you're here, one day you'll be poop, gone. What do you think is your duty to this life and to every life? Please tell me. What does living fully mean, huh? Oh. No, you are a brief life, you are a brief life. I want you to just imagine, you've seen those insects which come when it rains, ants which fly. Suppose you were that. You just came alive, poop, 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 and poof, gone. That's what you are. Just compared to the span of your life, the insect's life is looking so meaningless and poop, poop, poop and gone. That's what the rivers are thinking about you. Poop, poop, poop and gone. Yes or no? Compared to their lifespan, you are just like that insect or less than that insect, isn't it so? But you don't know what the insect is thinking, but at least you, I want you to think and see, it's a bloody brief life, both for you and your father. And don't you ever take this South India in a negative term. As if a South Indian father is some terrible phenomenon. You tell your father, I defended his South Indian origins. In this culture, people desperately wanted to have a son. Not because they had a kingdom to rule, because they believed if they have a child, because the girl will get married and go off somewhere, if the son is there, he will be there, and make sure that before they die, he will take them to Kashi or he will take them to the right place and see that they get mukti. That is the entire process of life here. Because we saw the very process of life and it's exuberant flying around for some time and poof, this itself is a trap. Suppose you remembered 100 lifetimes of coming up, flying around, falling in love, reproducing, South Indian or North Indian. And Kayantasthanam. Suppose you remembered 100 happenings like this, would it become meaningless?
Yes.
Hmm?
Yes.
Because of loss of memory, everything is looking fresh. Yes? So, your fundamental duty towards yourself and your father is just to remind them of this. It's all right, what your father calls me, what does it matter? He's after all South Indian. So are you doing the right thing? I don't know, sir. All I know is this needs to be done, and those who do it with all that they have will find fulfillment. I'm not somebody who ever debated, is this the right thing to do in my life? What was needed, I jumped into it. Because if you're a constipated life, you will always be thinking about what to do, what not to do, what to do, what not to do, what is my passion, what is not my passion. Why the hell are you not passionate about everything? Hello?
Yes.
Why are you not passionate about everything in the existence? You're only passionate about one thing means what? You're constipated, that's what it means. So, see, idiots do things that they don't like to do, suffer their whole life because they think it's needed or they think it's their duty. Intelligent people do what they love to do. They enjoy their life to some extent. But a genius learns to do what is needed joyfully. That's when your genius flowers, because it's no more about you. Now there's a limitless way of looking at life. So, every aspect of this rally or many other things we have done, I don't even have to tell people that this must happen, this must happen, this must happen. A few things, yes. Rest of it, I just make it up in my mind and I know it must happen and it will happen. Not because I am exercising my will over the world, because I'm just fulfilling the will of the world, that's all. You interested in reading this book? No. Okay. How many minutes do you need, ma'am? Okay. That's a question. That was a story.
So the question is that
She's asking a question.
We were talking about, there's an analogy of the lotus that flourishes in muddy water.
I said filth.
Phil, how do we allow the lotus that exists in each one of us to flourish in filth, and even though in this age of whatever we call it Kali Yuga, and there's so much of volatility, how does the human mind create a
focus and consistency in thought that enables it to isolate itself from filth, so to speak, and let the mind develop and flourish as a lotus.
You've been listening to me. Is the audio working? Did I talk about isolating yourself from filth? If you isolate yourself, you will die because of lack of nourishment. If you're a plant, what people think is filth is your food, isn't it so? Hello? If you are a plant, if you are a tree, what other people think is filth, isn't it your food? So, lotus thrives on it. What is filth is only in the human mind, isn't it? Huh? This happened very wonderfully. I was teaching a program in a village in Tamil Nadu, way back, maybe 26, 27 years ago, in a small village called Velaythupalyam. I enjoyed those cute villages teaching very simple people, but they are the people who stood like pillars for the foundation to grow. So, I was teaching them at that time Shunya program, and I'm talking about how when you meditate, when you go beyond a certain level of relaxation, if you don't come out and become active, once again the blood will try to push back the impurities into the cellular level. This is like you gave so much filth to the municipality in the last 1 year and you did not pay your taxes. So, the municipality decides 10 loads of filth, they will put it in your house today and go because that's what has come from your house. So if they do like this, what will you do? In one voice they said, violet pot grow. That means, they said, we will use it in the paddy fields. I just got stuck for a moment. This is an example which is working wonderfully well in the city. When I'm speaking in English language and I'm talking to people, if you put back all the filth into your house, will you take it? No, 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 we don't want the filth. But these village people who are all farmers, they said, violet pot grow. So, what is filth for you is very precious for many other creatures, particularly the plant life, isn't it? So, there is sufficient filth around you and within you. Yes. And how to transform this into a fragrant blossom? That's a question, not how to isolate yourself. Because you never can isolate yourself. Because what is on your mind is not your choice. Whatever you have seen, everything that you're exposed to is on your mind, isn't it? Now, what will you make out of it is your choice. Will you smear this filth on your face and walk around in the world, or will you make this lotus blossom? That's all the choice you have. Filth or no filth, you have no choice. Believe me, even if you go and sit in a Himalayan cave, dirty thoughts can come to you. You think they'll go away? You already tested them. They'll not go away. But if you learn to transform all this into another possibility, then it doesn't matter, what comes your way will not determine where you go. Right now for most people, what comes their way determines where they go in their life. That is why they're so paranoid and scared of their life. But if you know how to transform filth into wealth, it's an important part of the document, transforming filth into wealth. On a different scale, but I'm saying within yourself, if you know how to transform filth into wealth, what comes at you doesn't matter. Whatever comes at you, the worst things that come at you, if you know how to make the best out of it, then why do you distinguish something as filth? This is why Shiva is described in many ways. In one moment he is a Sundar Murti, the most beautiful human being. In another moment he is hideous. He is in the most ugly forms, in the most filthy forms. Why this is shown like this is to make you understand life has all these aspects. What will you make out of it? That's all the big question is. And that's the only thing this culture has always worshipped. Otherwise, your Ramas, your Krishnas, even Shiva himself, if you look at the worldly life of theirs, it's a big failure, isn't it? Rama is a serial disaster. Yes, even the property is taken. Continuous disaster. Any one of those incidents happened in your life, you would be broken. Huh? Your wife kidnapped and your children taken away from you, then you fight a battle with your children, your kingdom gone. All these things will break human beings, isn't it? But whatever happened, he stayed about. So we are not worshipping him for his success. We are worshipping him because it doesn't matter what you throw at him, he still goes through it untouched. All their lives, if you look at it, if you look at the events of their life, it is one big failure. Krishna worked all his life to avoid that war. All he ended up in was in the terrible war. And he has to give his teaching there in that war. But he remains untouched. So this is becoming a lotus, this is making filth into a great wealth within yourself. You don't have… do you have a Duryodhana in your neighborhood? No. Dushyasana? No. So that kind of ugly drama is not happening in your life, isn't it? Yes or no? The kind of ugly drama that happened in Draupadi's life is not happening in your life, nowhere near that, isn't it? Huh? Nowhere near that. Yes, it's happening to you. She's no, nowhere near that. You don't know what happened to her. It's another matter. So, whatever drama is happening, if you understand one fundamental thing, if you don't forget one fundamental fact that you are here just for a brief amount of time. You came with nothing, you go with nothing. This is not philosophy, this is a fact of life. Don't think, yes, what is there? We all go. Don't make a philosophy out of it. It's a fact that you will go, isn't it? Hello? Yes. Is it philosophy that you will die, or is it a fact that you will die? It's a fact that you will die, isn't it? And it's a fact that you were born with nothing. It's a fact that you will die with nothing. So in between drama, whatever the hell happens, whatever the hell, all right, happens, you can make heaven out of it within yourself. Because just look at the joke of it. People who come with nothing, if they lose a safety pin, they will cry because they can't poke anybody anymore. Tell me, what are they not crying about? Just about everything, isn't it? So, will you get this point on your deathbed or today? That's all the choice you have. You'll anyway get it one day, believe me. But will you get it before it's too late? Or will you get it in time so that here there can be a blossomed human being or a constipated human being? This is all the choice. This is all the choice, there is no other choice. No, but Sadhguru, you know what happened? I will tell you what happens at the very end. That's not happened yet. I think you're still alive. Yes, that's not happened yet. That means everything is perfect. But my husband, oh my child, my mother, my South Indian father, poor man came north as quickly as possible. In United States, you will see these kind of stickers on those pickup trucks. I was not born in the South, got here as quick as I could. They're very proud of being South. So are we, don't you ever… But your father quickly got north and he thought he will save you by sending you south. But you ran away. This time you're not going to run away. So, this is all there is. Right now the only thing there is Rally Forevers. Because after all the idiots in the world are looking for a purpose. Here is the purpose. Good enough, isn't it? Why I'm saying idiots in the world is because only those who have not tasted life will look for a purpose. If you have tasted life beyond your psychological drama, then you will see you don't need any purpose to be fully on. Just yesterday, some journalist was asking me, Sadhguru, what drives you? I said, well, I was the one who was driving the car. They thought something else was driving me. No, I was the one who was driving the damn car. What drives me? Why should anything drive me? Nothing drives me. I'm essentially lazy. But because something needs to be done, I just do it, that's all. If there's nothing to be done, I'm essentially very lazy. It's just that in this life they have not given me time for that. That's about it. But fundamentally I'm very lazy within myself. That is why I'm at so much ease. Never busy, lot of things happening, but I'm not busy. Do I look busy? Yes. Do I look busy right now? Do I look busy? No. Even when I was driving through the worst traffic, I was not busy. I was singing or giving an interview or doing something. That's not busy, that's called a holiday. Let's make this happen, huh? It's a great opportunity. What, ma'am? Why is it wrongly colored? Okay, okay. No, let her give. Enamma?
Nanun Catholic Kiran.
Nanu?
Nanun Catholic Kiran. That's I love you in South Indian. I learned it from Google.
You got it all wrong.
And how you say it basically?
Nanun kattu panniduven. Okay. Bharatam Mahabharatam Ganga Narmada Punya Tirtham Sindhu Saraswati Kaveri Jivana Karana Mula Tattvam नदीराष्ट्रस्य महाअमृतम् भारतम्।
भारतं महाभारतं गङ्गानदपुण्यतीर्थं सिन्धु सरस्वती कावेरी जीवनकारणमूलतत्त्वं नदीराष्ट्रस्य महामृतम् भारतम्। भारतं महाभारतं गङ्गानर्मदपुण्यतीर्थं सिन्धु सरस्वती कावेरी जीवनकारणमूलतत्त्वम् नदीराष्ट्रस्य महामृतम् भारतम्। भारतं महाभारतं गङ्गानर्मदपुण्यतीर्थं सिन्धु सरस्वती कावेरी जीवनकारणमूलतत्त्वं नदीराष्ट्रस्य महामृतम् भारतम्। भारतं महाभारतं गङ्गानर्मदपुण्यतीर्थं सिन्धु सरस्वती कावेरी जीवनकारणमूलतत्त्वं नदीराष्ट्रस्य महामृतम् भारतम्। भारतं महाभारतं गङ्गानर्मदपुण्यतीर्थं सिन्धु सरस्वती कावेरी जीवनकारणमूलतत्त्वं नदीराष्ट्रस्य महामृतम् भारतम्। भारतं महाभारतं गङ्गानर्मदपुण्यतीर्थं सिन्धु सरस्वती